like to introduce Brian and Mandy from TMC Transportation and Logistics, and I'll let them take it from here.
Hi, everyone. How are you today? My name is Brian Griffin. I'm with TMC. I'm a senior logistics representative, and this is Mandy. She's in our HR. So nice, letting us be on board. It's kind of hard when you don't see any faces. Kind of to give you a background on how I got into transportation. I was going to school in San Antonio, Texas. From there, I worked at the Inter-American Development Bank in Washington, D.C. I ran the budget for them for about 14 years. After that, I left Washington, D.C., and I went to Lima, Peru. I lived in Lima, Peru for about 13 years. I was the finance and marketing manager for MasterCard International. After my period down there, I came back to the States with my family and got involved with TMC. I didn't know anything in the logistics side of it. It was something new to me, but I did know that I knew how to market myself. I also knew how to sell. It was one of my strong assets, and spoke with TMC and got the opportunity to come in here as a logistics sales representative when I first started. And through TMC in the last 4 years since I've been with TMC, I've been a logistics sales representative. I was a team logistics sales representative, and now I'm in as a senior logistics sales representative. So it shows you that through the times, and if you do things the right way and you work, you can accomplish certain things through those levels, and our company allows those types of things to happen. A lot of the things that we look for from students that are possibly coming in, we do a lot of internships, obviously. I'm usually in Ames. Today I'm in Des Moines, but both offices and throughout the United States, we do a lot of interning. What we usually are looking for is supply chain is one of the strong areas that we look at, sales, and the marketing area. So if I'm assuming everybody's from here in Iowa. So if you look at Iowa State in that sense, Iowa State's very strong in the sales, marketing, and in the supply chain. They're probably one of the best in the United States. And that's kind of where we pull a lot of our students from. They're usually with us for a semester. They learn all the areas. One of those areas is in the sales. The other is in what we call CSS, customer service sales. And that is the communication with outside trucks. So if you look at both sides of our industry, if you're working with the trucks, you're still in a sales level, a marketing level. If you're on the other side in the logistics as well as an LSR or a logistics sales representative, you do the identical thing basically, except you're talking with clients in that case, but you're also then working through your marketing and your sales area. All right. In the sales for me, what I've learned is there's two levels of sales. One is basically commission only. That means any client that you bring on board and you have a margin or there's a contract with whatever company you're with, you would specifically only get paid if you make a sale. All right. On the other side, there's what we have is basically a base salary plus commission. Here at TMC, we do the second one. There's a base salary and then an uncapped commission side to it on the other side. And I know I'm probably going to go into a little bit too much, but you can always ask me some questions later. If you're basically in a commission only position, you'd be doing stuff with taxes in the sense that are 1099s. So you'd be classified as self-employed. All right. When you're on a base salary plus commission, everything's done through a W-2. So there's quite a bit of difference in the tax brackets and the taxes that you have to do as well. With sales, well, we use our marketing a lot on how we approach then our sales. So when I'm creating leads or I'm creating people in different industries to talk to and understand, obviously I'm going through Google, I'm doing searches, I'm doing a lot of those things. I know we also have a lot of stuff out there. We have our, what is it, www, www.tmctrans.com. So you can go to our web page. That shows a lot of stuff as well. But it's searching and understanding the market on where transportation and logistics ties in. And if you think about it, the way that I tell people that I've done a lot of training with, TMC is one of the largest asset-based flatbed companies. So we've got about anywhere between 3,000 and 3,500 of our own flatbed trucks. And then so we use those and we fill those with our regular clients. And at times then we also have other clients where we're not able to use our asset trucks because it might not be a lane that is serviceable for our asset trucks. So what we'll use then is partner carriers, all right? So what we do is we not only talk to trucks and possibilities of them partnering with us, but we're also talking then on the other side to the clients, all right? And we mesh those two together and we're in the middle making that work, all right? But in the sales area, as I was saying, communication for me is the top thing. I am a person that likes to talk. I also like to help people. As I say to them, I take away their headache. If I can take away their headache, then I'm helping them into the future to be better at what they're doing, and also to be able to give help to them to give their clients a good service. One of the ways that I look at transportation, and I kind of started to mention it, is I look at it in the sense of, if you go into Walmart, okay, Target, those types of places, those large companies, Costco, is that right? Yeah, Costco, Sam's Club, those types of things. All of that product in there has been transported at one time. So basically everything that you see or where you're currently at, if you're sitting on chairs, if you're in front of a desk, a computer, all of that at one time had to be transported in one fashion or another. Train, truck, car, LTL, which is small transportation and stuff like that. So at all times, there's some type of transportation throughout. The key for us is how we put those clients together. So when I go out and I research, and let's say I'm going to research honey companies that move honey or companies that sell honey. So what I do is I'll contact all of those organizations that sell honey. All right, I'll ask them what their transportation needs are. I'll ask them where they have to transport it to. And what I do then is I set it up, whether it's through small transportation, whether it's on a flatbed, okay, whether it's in a van, however that transportation is what I do then for that client, and I charge them a fee, all right? Our fees are set up based on what the client will pay to us, all right, and what we have to pay to a truck. So I'll give you an example. So if we have a lane that's being run, if somebody wants to move honey from Ohio, okay, to Iowa, all right, and I say that cost is going to be $1,500, and the client says, perfect, can we move it tomorrow? So what I do at that time is I go to another side of our company, which is the customer service sales, and I tell them, look, I have a lane that's running from Ohio to Iowa. Would you go out and find me a truck, a partner carrier that is interested in moving that honey for me? And what they do is they make that communication then to several different trucks and try to get a price that possibly is like $1,000. All right. Once they get that truck, we load that truck the next day, we transport it down. I'm going to charge our client, okay, that we're transporting the honey for, I'm going to charge them $1,500. We're going to pay them the truck $1,000, and in between there's a margin. All right. And that margin of $500 is money that I get a percentage of. All right. So besides my base salary that I have, I also then get a commission based off of the margin that I make. All right. I hope that makes sense. Other than that, what do you have to say on the marketing side?
So, I mean, like Brian has talked about, a huge part of TMC, since we aren't a marketing or public relations firm, you know, we are a transportation company. A lot of what TMC does in terms of marketing is sales. We look for a lot of students that have a marketing background because marketing is selling anything. So we like to see that. We do actually have a very small marketing and public relations department. So, you know, Des Moines right here is our corporate office. We've got our manager of our PR and marketing, and then we just have a very small team of just a few employees that handle all of the marketing and PR for the company. So in terms of actual marketing and public relations, you know, they're handling the events that we're doing, the promotions that are going out. If we're promoting anything, they handle all of our social media, Facebook, Instagram, anything like that, you know, even on Indeed where we post jobs, they handle our company page for that. So in terms of actual marketing roles, that is something that we do offer at TMC. It's just unfortunately not something that's a large part of what we do. So when it does come to our marketing, you know, and what we look for in terms of marketing, we're looking for those people who are really forward thinking and wanting to market themselves, the company, and kind of go towards that selling position.
Also, I was kind of asked the different kinds of education. I kind of mentioned to you supply chain. We look for a lot of students that have gotten their degree in supply chain. We look for students that have done sales and major in the sales area at Iowa State. And we also look for students that basically are in the marketing area. The reason for those three areas, one in the supply chain area, the main reason that we look there is because they basically have done their education based off of how transportation is set up. All right. I don't want to say it's logistics, but it's a combination on how something is started from scratch, how that product is finished, how it's transported, and how it ends up getting to the final destination or wherever that has to be sold. So supply chain is very much involved in that type of strategy. In the marketing side, we look at people that know how to market themselves. They know how to market a product, okay? Because the more that somebody knows how to market something, they also know how to market themselves. And when you're in the sales industry, communication is a very big thing. Getting to know your clients very well is a good thing. With most of probably my top 20 clients that I have currently, I know when birthdays are, I know how many kids they have. I know what their favorite sport is. Usually I even know what their favorite team is. All right, so those are things like that I do. On the sales side of it, obviously, that gives you a boost of everything. It shows you how to use the facilities and the structures that you have in any company that you work for, whether it's TMC or somewhere else, on what they're selling. So you need to be able to understand the product or the service that you're giving, okay? And with that, then you can move into the area of making more money. So as I said, with the base plus commission is how we work here at TMC. The education level, I know people always ask me this. I know people that have worked in all kinds of industries, especially in the sales. I've always been pretty good at it myself. Education is not always needed after high school. But what I have noticed is an education, whether it's a junior college, a 2-year school, or a 4-year school, obviously it gives you some ups and gives you a little bit more experience that you can bring to that company. And that's where you're probably going to get those salaries that have a base plus commission. Okay. Personal recommendation is if you can go to some type of college, that would be my recommendation. Again, that's my personal opinion, whether it's a 2-year or a 4-year. But I do know a lot of people that have done it with at least having their high school education completed. All right.
I would say that TMC does offer positions where people can come in entry level with, you know, right out of high school, right out of, you know, like you said, a junior college, or right out of bachelor's. You know, we do have a lot of positions that we might look at various education levels. So even if someone wasn't interested in going to a 4-year school, or they wanted to get right to work out of high school, there are those opportunities, you know, for you to come in, get your foot in the door, and then grow with the company. And over time, if you feel that marketing yourself, selling yourself, something you have a strong background in, TMC likes to offer and grow those employees to get them to where they want to be.
I can open up for questions unless you want me to talk some more.
So can you maybe touch on, you kind of started in this realm, but what could, as an early high schooler, what could they do now to set themselves up for success in the future in a career?
Um, I have 3 kids of my own, so I'll give kind of the exact talk that I kind of give them. So my apologies, but it's the best way I can probably do it. I have, and even with the young students that we have come in as interns, right now, if you're in high school, obviously it's a little bit more difficult in the sense of possibly getting an internship, but it is still available out there. I'm not going to say that it's not. I also know that we had some possibilities last summer. Of course, with everything that happened, that didn't, we weren't able to do that. I believe we're going to be doing it again next summer. So that's an opportunity for young people that are still in high school to possibly get an internship. Okay. The other is to build your personality and to create confidence in yourself. Truly working at a mall, working at a McDonald's, working at, any place. We've got Perfect Games here here in Ames, and I know at Perfect Games there's a lot of high school students that work there. Anything that puts you into that relationship with another person is putting yourself into learning how to be a good salesperson. And then it just depends on what level you want to take that to.
Question came in, what careers are available in marketing?
What careers are available in marketing? That's a good one. I've never really thought of that one too much. One of the areas, and I'll go back to what I did prior when I was overseas. A lot of stuff that works with credit cards does a lot of marketing. Walmart's, Targets do a lot of marketing. Fleet Farm does a lot of marketing. Anywhere in any of those companies, they've got a marketing department, a lot larger than what we have here at TMC. Those are some of the areas that I could think of off the top of my head.
I'd say similar to how you said every product gets somewhere, somebody's marketed that product to get somebody to want to buy it, or a service to get somebody to use it. Think of TV, print, social media is huge. Like I said, unfortunately, TMC's not, we don't specialize in marketing, so we don't offer too much, but marketing's kind of similar to like supply chain. It's a huge industry that could offer a lot of different avenues for somebody. And in our case, we look at marketing for selling our freight solution services. So I think there within that area would be a lot of opportunity.
What would you say would be your favorite part of your sales and marketing experience and what you do now?
What has been the best part for me?
Yes.
I love talking to people. For me, I've always been a person that likes to find a way to solution situations, whether it's a problem or just a situation. So in the sales area that I do, especially here at TMC, you kind of possibly heard me make the comment, when I talk to my clients, the idea for them working with me, because they know they're paying me to some extent, okay, is how can I alleviate that headache? How can I alleviate that responsibility from you to make it easier for your client, your final destination? And if in some cases, I've got clients that, one of my good clients, they produce doors, all right? So I'm part of their supply chain, if you think about it. In that case, and it's fun for me because what I do is I've known this company now for almost 4 years. And because I've worked with them for 4 years, I actually know when they're low on certain products. And I'll call them and say, hey, we haven't moved anything of glue in the last month and a half. And they'll go, oh, thank you. I forgot about that. So for me, what I like doing is solutioning those situations, making things run smoother, and having that client feel free that they know that I'm going to take care of it no matter what. And if there's a problem, I'm going to have a solution for that problem as quickly as possible.
what is the demand like for people with marketing degrees?
Marketing for me, there's a high level of it and a need for it. Marketing nowadays has become more on the social networks. Your knowledge on those, if it's real good, if you know how to communicate in those fashions, I hear there's a tremendous growth in it. My oldest son is finishing up a school right now, and that's one of the areas that he's in, and he really likes it. He's also doing an internship though here in TMC in the sales area. So he's learned that sales still comes with part of marketing.
You mentioned the internship with TMC. Is that something that is open to high schoolers, or is that a college-only opportunity?
I know how it was. I'm not involved in it as much as I was last year, but I do know that we were going to be doing some internships, weren't we? Mandy's
Yeah.
probably better at this one than I am.
We had, I mean, I would say we don't get a huge demand for it. It's something that comes a lot with the universities. We've got relationships across the nation with different universities near our offices. So in every location we have, we do offer internships. In terms of for high school students, Brian had mentioned last summer we were actually supposed to have a program where there were going to be high school students coming in, not set up the same as a college student would do an internship, coming in, working set hours, but still gaining experience of what it is that we do, kind of learning the different areas that we teach our college interns. Unfortunately, it didn't happen because of the pandemic, for the safety of everyone. It is something we'd be looking forward to doing in the future, but, even outside of our sales area, I know here at our corporate office in our shop, we've even had high school students who want to come to an internship learning a trade. So it's not something that can't happen by any means. In TMC, just because of the size of company we are and how we grow, we're definitely set up where we can create something if someone was truly interested.
I'd say on the other side of what Mandy said, it depends on each individual person. Right now, if I saw a resume come in from a high school student, I'd probably treat it the exact same way that I would anybody else sending a resume in to us for an internship. Now, Mandy might not agree with that one. I'm not sure on where it's at, but those she'll call back people that we get resumes from, and at that time in reality, it's an opportunity for a person to shine. I don't care if you're 17 or 18. If you're a junior or senior in high school and you want to do an internship, whether it's applying to TMC online or whether it's to whatever company you're interested in possibly working for, I'd recommend doing it. There's only two answers that you can get when you do something. And that's, yeah, we'd like to have you as an intern, or right now it's not a possibility, but if you're interested in a year, we'd like you to come back and talk to us. Those are things that really impress me, especially when I was doing some of the help on hiring interns. Maybe that student wasn't quite, didn't have the experience of having interviews and everything. So you talk to them and, you knew that there was a possibility. And I'd say, but why don't you do it again next semester? And it's awful funny when I see somebody come back the next semester, I'm like, I remember when he or she came in, and look how she's improved or he's improved from last year to this year. I believe we should give them an opportunity. So whatever age you are, I think applying for an internship, everybody should do.
Another question in the chat: how has the pandemic affected business?
How's it affected us?
Yes.
The market has really flipped on us in the area of transportation. It was more driven by clients and pricing, not by the trucks that drive it. And now the market is more, the trucks kind of can put the price on what they want to get paid to be able to move things. You know, a lot of my clients now, they work from home. So the hours are a little bit different sometimes, or I can't always get a hold of them the same way. I'm a big person on getting on the phone. I'm not an email person. And I've noticed I've had to become more of an email person since then. The market, though, we are seeing it is starting to change again. And that's just because if you've noticed, unemployment's going back down again. So people are back working. As people get back to work, if you've walked into a Walmart, you've probably seen it, and you see areas that are bare, they don't have the product. Pretty soon you're going to start seeing this market move in the other direction. My personal opinion and things that I've read and the information that we get through TMC, you're probably going to see that market grow substantially, probably within the next, starting the first part of November. Okay. Reason for that is everybody wants to get their products in for Thanksgiving, and everybody wants to get their products in for Christmas and New Year's. So you're going to start seeing a change, and you'll probably also start seeing a change on the interstates and with the rails and the airplanes and stuff like that. You're going to see a lot more of them in the sky, on the ground, and on the tracks very shortly.
All right, it looks like that's all the questions we had for you today. I'd like to thank you for joining us and sharing your expertise. I'd like to thank the student participants for joining us as well. And just as always, we appreciate the time.
Thank you. We enjoyed it.
Yep. Thank you.